Glampers, getting ready for the season, get ready to get out camping. There's something we want to share with you about when our truck broke down and how GM dealt with it. Come along with us and we'll talk about that.
Before we get into any more detail, we want to take you back to June when we first broke down and kind of explain what happened while we were out in North Dakota.
All of a sudden we got an engine light. Right now we're throttled down. The truck's in limp mode. It basically won't let me go over 65, but even that, it gets real shaky, and then uphill it gets real violent shaky, so I have to drop the speed even more. Well, that went quicker than we thought. It was injector number 4 was the issue, and it was covered by warranty. So update on the second time being in the same dealership. So we had another injector fail. First it was the number 4 injector. This time it's the number 1 injector.
We only got 15 miles down the road before the second one.
Yeah, literally.
So we had to turn around
and limp back. They put us into limp mode. So we've pretty much been in the town of Dickinson instead of the national park, but we had some margin in this trip, so they had to make us wait. We've been here for like 3 or 4 hours with this repair already. On this repair, we got pushed to the back burner. So we went and grabbed some lunch, or a late dinner, early dinner.
Leonard.
We're gonna find out what's going on. I just spoke to the actual mechanic that's going to do the number 1 injector. He's hoping to be done by the end of their day, and he said it's the hardest side for him to work on. I don't know. Hopefully they'll have it done. We don't know how we're going to get back to our camper. Joni's over talking about getting a rental car from the Chevy dealer here, or the GM. The dealership closed at 6. He wasn't sure he could get the job done by 6. So the dealership gave us a vehicle to drive so we could go back to our camper. We're going to use this, and probably tomorrow, which will be Wednesday, we may go to Medora still in the morning and wait for a phone call.
Yeah, we'll have signal there.
We'll have signal in Medora. We have 0 signal at the campgrounds. Okay.
Try to be brief.
Update on the truck. The number 4 injector went bad. They replaced it. The number 1 injector went bad, so we went back. They replaced it, ran a scan, and was still getting a code from the ECM. They got a new ECM in it. They had to program it, of course, and then once they got it in, it was throwing a code, which was causing to not send an electrical signal to some of the injectors, which is causing them to burn up. The truck has 84,000 miles on it. We're trying to understand how we can get our camper home. We've called GM personally, and they just keep giving us a runaround from one person to the next, and we don't know what to do. We're kind of stuck right now. The dealership, Charbonneau GMC in Dickinson, North Dakota, has been fantastic. We've been out without the truck since Tuesday, and it's now Saturday. We talked GM into a plan to get us home because our truck wasn't going to be repaired. Due to the friendships we made in this camping community, Jeff and Lindy Betzner, probably some of the nicest people you'll ever meet. They've dropped everything to drive to North Dakota and haul a diesel pickup truck to us. So basically GM is actually paying or reimbursing us for all the miles that Jeff and Lindy are traveling out and back to tow this truck, for fuel, for everything for them to get out here to deliver this truck, and for us to drive that truck back home. The issue ended up being the harness that ran from the ECM to the fuel injector. For whatever reason, the harness went bad, and it wasn't sending a signal, causing the injectors to burn out. And GM has a policy about trip interruption, and that's what we were putting this on. Our trip got interrupted due to their product. Within the trip interruption policy, they pay for all the fuel, they pay for lodging, for food, for you to get from point A to point B.
The harness was not covered under warranty. The harness was not covered under warranty.
Yeah, so apparently a harness that makes the powertrain work isn't part of the powertrain. 2 months goes by, our truck gets delivered, we get back to normal with our truck, but now we're dealing with GM, handling the case of settling with the financial side of it. During this time, GM decides that everybody in that department that was working on our case got moved to a different department. They brought in new people that didn't know our case, and people changed the policy. So no longer were they wanting to pay for our trip interruption, all the fuel, all the food, all the lodging, everything that we sent them. Now with that said, we didn't send them everything.
Yeah.
We could have charged them a ton more, but we didn't feel right doing that because we had our camper. We did put one meal on there. The day Jeff and Lindy showed up to deliver the truck, I thought I would buy them lunch because they just drove 1,200 miles. They denied that meal because it wasn't itemized and they thought we might have alcohol in it. They were reneging on their side of the deal left and right about the finance. Part of the agreement with GM was we would get a rental. There's still no trucks to rent, but Jeff and Lindy offered their truck and they said keep it as long as you want.
I think it was like $30 a day. So I was like, okay, well, most people that have accidents that need a car rental, they're anywhere from $50 to $100. But the problem was there was a lot of time.
Right.
So our truck was out there for 2 months and we were using this truck. So 2 months times, every day times $30 added up. So I think that's another reason why they probably denied it. We're not really sure.
The Bessners were inconvenienced, so we wanted to make sure they were taken care of.
And they did this with knowing they may not get a dime back.
Yeah.
They said we can get our fuel back, fine, but if not, we're still doing this.
Weekly phone calls, weekly emails with GM. Finally, 7 months has passed, and I'm like up to here with dealing with GM on the phone and getting the same answers. I just told them whatever you have to do. They were basically denying everything but fuel and the cost of delivery of the truck. And that was it. And I finally just said, just get it taken care of because 7 months had passed and still the Bessners had not been reimbursed for their generosity, for their time, for them doing what GM wasn't able or willing to do. No matter what happens, when something like this happens to you, it's a gut punch. You're in the middle of vacation, you get a gut punch. But man, when you got people in your community that just lifted you up and said, hey, no worries, we got you.
The thing to leave with, most of all, we all need to be willing to help each other.
Yes.
Wherever we're at, whatever we can do.
Even if it's just a kind word to people, just saying, hey, I don't know what I can do to help, but I'm here if you need me. We thank you for your time. We thank you. I know this was a lot. I kind of got my blood boiling just thinking about it again. But we're so thankful for you, and we hope to see you out there glamping right beside us. Happy glamping.